Welcome back, guys. This is part of our ongoing series for Connex and Infinity configuration for the thermostats. This particular weekly topic is going to be on setting up the advanced settings of the thermostat itself, and then future videos will be setting them up for furnaces, for AC units, etc. So with that, let's dive right in. All right, so here we are on the first screen of the advanced settings. There's a couple different things we'll list out for you so you can see what they are. The first one is equipment summary. If you were to click on that, it would tell you the equipment that you have on the system. In our case, a fan coil with a 5-stage outdoor unit, no zoning, air filter, and a humidifier. I'm going to go ahead and hit back. If you hit done, it'll go all the way back to the main screen, which I don't want to do. I only want to go back one screen. The next section is labeled as installation. If I click on installation, there's two things I can do there. One is a full installation, which starts over from scratch, which we've already done for you in a different video. The other one's an airflow verification test. If I was to do just that particular one, it would just do the pressure testing system for the furnace as opposed to the full install. We're not going to do that today either. We're going to hit back. All right, below installation is setup. That's where we're going to spend our time today. So under setup, I can configure different things. The very first one is the thermostat, and that's what we're going to configure today. So these are settings related to the controller itself. When I click on thermostat, I got several different things that pop up. The first one is auto mode setup. If I click on auto mode setup, it's defaulted to enable. I can disable it if I wish, which means the end user customer will not have an auto mode. They'll pick heat mode, cool mode, or off, and they will not have a choice of auto. Some folks like that. They open the windows in the off season. That's fine. Most folks want to have the auto mode, so we'll leave it enabled. And then we got a minimum changeover time that we will enforce. This is the minimum amount of minutes that we have to wait from switching to heating and cooling. Normally this is not a big deal, but if you have a zoning system, make sure it's at least 30 minutes, if not longer. I will hit cancel because I'm not going to make any changes right now. The next one below that is heat cool deadband. If I click on that, the default is 2 degrees. That means there's always 2 degrees enforced between the heating set point and the cooling set point. I'm able to go down to 0 if I want, which is sort of ridiculous. You're telling me you can only be happy at exactly 72 degrees. You're not happy at 71 or 73. Right, I can go as high as 6 degrees, which will save you as much energy as possible. 2 is a pretty good spot. I would not go less than 2. Folks that want to save more energy, you can push them more towards 6. You can either hit save or cancel in our case because we didn't change it. Below that is offsets. You're really going to like this one. This one solves a lot of issues. So these have thermistor sensors in them, as you probably know. The thermistors are fairly accurate. But sometimes the end user customer has a old mercury bulb sitting on their kitchen counter, and that thing is the gospel. It's got to match that. And the customer tells you, well, my mercury bulb says it's 74, and your thermostat says it's 72. Your thermostat's obviously wrong, right? So what I will do in that case is I will add 2 degrees to my reading to make it match the customer's reading. So under room temp, I'll add 2 degrees. Now if it says 72 on my stat, it matches the 74 that they see. I can go up or down, plus or minus 5 degrees. To make it match whatever I'm trying to make it match. Same thing on the outdoor temperature reading, and the same thing on the indoor humidity, although the humidity goes up or down 10%. So if I'm trying to make this match somebody else's device, like a sensor they have sitting on their counter, I can do that. All right, so the next one on the list is reset factory defaults. So if we click on that one there, there's 4 different things we can do on here. Reset the program schedule, the user settings, the installer settings, or the last 10 fault codes. Generally speaking, I would say you don't want to reset the fault codes. You'd like to have that history there in the stat so you can see what happened over time. But every once in a while, someone might get into the stat, they might mess around with something they should have messed around with, and you might want to just get your mulligan and restart. So if you click yes on any of these, program schedule, user settings, install settings, and click save, it'll reset those back to the factory defaults. It's kind of like getting a do-over, right? Below factory reset defaults, there's scheduling on/off. If you click on that one, you can turn the scheduling feature off. That basically makes this a non-programmable thermostat. By code, for most states, including here in Illinois, we have to have programmable thermostats, right? It's required by law. But if someone's a retiree and they never leave and they're never going to program it, why make them go through the pain of scheduling a stat they don't want scheduled? So you can turn it off here and make it a dumb, non-programmable stat. I'll go back. The very last one is smart recovery, on or off. What smart recovery does is, let's say you program your stat to be away when you're at work, right? You left home, you went to work, and you want to come back on at 5 p.m. the thermostat will start figuring out what time it needs to start today in order to be at the temperature you want by 5 p.m. So on a mild day like today, it may start at 4:51 because it only takes a few minutes to get up to temperature. On a different time of year, it may start an hour early or 20 minutes early or 31 minutes early or whatever it takes. So that's a great feature. It's defaulted on. Generally speaking, leave it on and let the thermostat make everybody happy so you're comfortable at the time you want to be comfortable. So I'll save that one. And in our case, I'm going to press done. And that's all the configuration settings that we're going to handle today. All right, so that concludes today's video. Thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and we'll see you guys again next week.